What Jesus says to his disciples in John 15, verses 19 through 14 and 17 through 19 may sound easy, but living it in real life often requires great strength of heart and determination of will. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I am giving you these commands so that you may love one another. If the world hates you, be aware that it hated me before it hated you. Mm-hmm. If you belonged to the world would love you as its own. Because you do not belong to the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Thanks be to God.
Please pray with me for a moment. Good and gracious Lord, who holds the world and all nations and all people in the palm of your hand, you hold us this morning and you bind us together, even though we're in different places. You bind all your people. Tie our hearts to yours now, that in this hour we may hear your voice and know your spirit, and be given the strength and determination to follow wherever you lead. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable to you, our rock, our redeemer, our strength, and our power. Amen. When it comes to mind, what you think of when you think about what Christ loved us, what sorts of feelings come to your mind? I think most people generally have their hearts grow warm at the thought. To me, it brings to mind acts of service of the sort we've seen so much of during this pandemic. Frontline workers from medical teams to low-paid employees who risk their lives for the sake of others. They're the volunteers who work tirelessly at food banks, the ones who make face masks, run errands for homebound neighbors, and do countless other good deeds. It brings to mind the warmth of our own faith community, eating together, worshiping together, holding hands and singing, "They'll know we are Christians by our love." It's a lovely, almost perfect vision. But then Jesus suddenly breaks into our warm, wonderful picture with a dose of cold reality. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. That verse has particular meaning, very poignant meaning to those who serve in the military. It's a perfect verse for a weekend of remembering all of those who have laid down their lives for this country. Additional cold, harsh reality appears as Jesus offers the disciples words of caution about the hate they may face, that he himself has faced, and says they shouldn't be surprised by it. It's like stepping from a warm ocean into a cold shower. Where did the love go? The sweetness, the warmth. This is where I picture a drill sergeant stepping up and shouting 6 inches from our faces, "What do you think this is? A love fest? You're soft. You're so soft you don't know what tough is. You want love? I'll give you love, but you're not going to like it. I don't think you can handle it. You're too soft." Jesus wasn't a drill sergeant, but he was trying to toughen up the disciples. They needed to learn that love isn't just sweetness and light, warmth and passing of the peace. If that's all there is to it, love is never going to make it out there in a cold, cruel world. To survive the challenges that the love of Christ is going to face, that love must be soldier strong. It takes incredible strength to walk willingly toward pain and into the arms of death for the sake of a friend, or even for the sake of the world, as Jesus did. It takes soldier strong love. It takes great strength to face the anger and hate that's an inevitable consequence of speaking truth to power, even when it's done in love and for the sake of love. It takes soldier strong love. Sometimes we have to turn the other cheek. That's not an act of weakness either. It takes tremendous strength to stay calm in the face of anger, to face whatever is thrown at you without throwing it back. It takes soldier strong love. Those of you who've been in the military could do a better job than I of talking about the bonds that hold a unit together. How they know that if there's danger, they'll face it together and have each other's back. That each will do his or her own part, and each can be absolutely confident that every other person on the team will do theirs, that they will cover, protect, and defend each other. And if it proves necessary, they will even be willing to lay down their life for each other, or for the people or the cause for which they're fighting. That is soldier strong love. In its civilian form, such love is willing to lay just as much on the line to stand against injustice, to have the back of a brother or sister who's under attack, to defend the defenseless, and fight for the rights of those who have been wronged, knowing full well that some won't agree, that they may be despised for this, called names, even hated, but refusing to let that stop them. That's soldier strong love in civilian form. Jesus wasn't a sergeant, but he gave a command with more authority than a 4-star general. And like a general, he expected to be obeyed. I'm no drill sergeant, but I want to make sure you hear his message, his whole message. We are to love one another, but it doesn't stop there. The "as I have loved you" part should have told us that, given what Jesus did out of love for us. If we think this kind of love is about sweetness and light, warm hugs and passing the peace, we haven't a clue. If that's the case, we are soft. So soft we may not be able to handle real love. We need love that's tough enough to show itself without hugs or holding hands. We need love that is willing and able to stand strong and tall and firm against hate. We need love strong enough to give everything we have in us, even lay down our life in the name of love and for its sake, as Christ did for us. We need soldier strong love. 10 hot! Amen.